Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to Season 3 of Build of the Week, a weekly video series that showcases interesting Path of Exile character builds created by our community. Today's build is a level 82 Templar called Lolimus. He plays in the recently released Rampage League and is running a Fire Overkill Proliferation build. His character works by combining a lot of different skills together. Herald of Ash causes any overkill damage to ignite nearby monsters. In addition to the increased burning damage and reduced mana gems, it is supported by Elemental Proliferation, which causes this burning damage to apply to other nearby monsters as well. Molten Strike is the primary attack skill of choice. As overkill damage is so important, support gems were chosen that do not reduce its damage. In this case, it is supported by Weapon Elemental damage, faster attacks, melee physical damage, and Life Leech. The Avatar of Fire Keystone passive is used to further increase fire damage. Calm's Primacy is the weapon chosen for this build. It's a high damage two-handed axe that adds additional fire damage. It's important that a slow weapon was picked because they do more damage in one go, resulting in more overkill damage proliferated to nearby monsters. The unique ring Pyre provides a big boost to burning damage and makes his item choices more flexible, as cold damage can feed the fire as well. Normally Pyre doesn't work with Elemental Proliferation because enemies that are hit are incinerated, but the Herald of Ash skill works around this in a clever way because the overkill damage isn't a hit, so it's still proliferated. For this reason, Elemental Proliferation supports Herald of Ash rather than Molten Strike. His other rare items focus on armor, life, and resistances. Crafted mods have been used to fill in gaps. To aid with mana costs, the Clarity Aura is used. It is applied to his life via a Blood Magic gem and is also supported with reduced mana cost to lessen its impact. The Flammability Curse is used to increase the damage of both Molten Strike and Herald of Ash. Defensively, the Determination Aura adds armor. If you want to spec this build aggressively, then we feel that the Hatred Aura will be a good choice. It adds a lot of cold damage, 100% of which will be converted to fire damage by the Pyre ring. Many builds use Cast on Damage Taken and Immortal Core for defenses, but they generally combine it with an Enduring Cry gem to generate charges that make the Immortal Core last longer. This build does not. It instead opts for the increased duration support gem to raise the default length of invulnerability that Immortal Core provides. This is useful for stopping bursts of immediate spike damage. The same gems also trigger an increased duration Molten Shell. The passive tree for this build specializes in weapon elemental damage, fire damage, life, armor, increased area of effect, and whatever mana it can pick up. The Avatar of Fire Keystone passive is used to greatly amplify the character's fire damage. Due to the quantity of fire damage, this is a very appropriate build for this keystone. Resolute Technique is also used. Because this isn't a crit build and uses a slow weapon, it's very important that every hit lands. An incredibly powerful notable for this build to get is Holy Fire, which causes a lot of extra burning damage. We enjoyed this build because it combined a bunch of interesting tricks related to fire. These tricks were both new and old. Some well understood systems and some new Forsaken Masters ones were used in interesting ways, like having the new Herald of Ash skill bypass Pyre's corpse destruction. It's also nice to see a melee build that encourages the use of slow, heavy weapons. If you're new to Path of Exile and would like to play, just head on over to pathofexile.com or search for it on Steam. We recently released the Forsaken Masters expansion and new leagues with fresh economies, so it's a great time to get into the game. If you'd like to submit a build for next week's episode, just post a build guide in the class forums on pathofexile.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.